The burnt egg roll?
Shout out to everybody tuned in. We're here with my man Moussa repping Senegal by ways of Niger. He's a real live prince from Africa. If you've seen the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, this is a real life one. How you doing today, man?
All good, man. All good.
Right now, Moussa, he's in Senegal, home of Akon, one of the greatest singers of all time. Let me pack this bowl for one. I wish you could smoke weed with me, man. You would be talking some alien shit.
Huh?
If you smoke weed with me, you'd be talking some alien shit.
You never know. I think sometimes some people have different reaction to certain things, you know?
Yeah.
Am I not able to talk at all?
Yeah, that's right. Facts.
You know what I mean?
Especially if you're not a weed smoker, man, and you do it, you only had an edible, and if I gave you some OG
Yeah, I
Kush,
see it.
I was gonna say that, yeah, if I give you some OG Kush and you're not used to smoking weed, you might not be talking for a while.
Yeah. I know some people like who are really talkative, but when they drink, they like shut off.
Mm-hmm.
And other people who drinks talk all night and shit.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just knowing your level, though, right, and practicing.
But
Mm-hmm.
there is no really level to certain things. It's how much your body kind of just over time, because it's no really level. It's how much your body can just be like, okay, at this point, I'm just gonna be whatever. I just take whatever the mind, because it has to be with your mind, right?
I think,
It's all in your mind. Because like if you crave for it, it's your mind. If you don't, you know, your system also like eventually like you're gonna feel some way. Like you're gonna feel tired if you don't have it, or you're gonna have headache if you don't have it, and all sort of things.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think initially it's like kind of like understanding your levels, right? Knowing, like if you smoke weed one time and you had a bad experience, but then you want to do it again, and then you try it again, and you're like, okay, now I know what to expect. Same thing with drinking. I think if you know what to expect, you can kind of manage it better.
But if it's levels, then you won't able. It will be harder for you to give up.
If there's levels, it'd be harder for you to give up.
Yeah, because if you put level to it, then it'll be harder for you to like concentrate and be like, okay, like if I'm not at my level,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then it's just like I can't really function.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So then you can't give up
Mm-hmm.
till you reach your level.
Yeah, that is true.
But when it's your mind controls it, then you can be okay with it because you can change your mind to be like, okay, I don't really want to do this anymore. It's a tricking your mind to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because your mind controls all the things that you're doing. And so if your mind is not where you want it to be, because I mean, if you told me your mind is the place where, for example, you want it, what is the word that you use? Yeah, level. So
The
it's like,
levels.
you know, your mind is the level, right? So like the level of your mind, it's like it can be like high or low. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your mind is gonna think like you're in a place of like panicking and gonna release a lot of things that to protect your body or to protect you from like dying because you're gonna think like you're going in a place where you don't want to be, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's all controlling your mind. If your mind is okay with it, then you're gonna be okay with it. So that's where your level comes, right?
Yeah, yeah. I agree 100%. And the mind is the what controls your reality basically.
Yeah,
So if your reality is you being high all the time every day, then that becomes your reality.
exactly.
And if you don't have that weed, then you can't function in that reality or that time and space.
Yeah, but if your mind is so used to just smoking every day, like we just talked about, then you have to be there. You have to just be at that level. You can't change that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you go over, you're gonna suffer. If you go low, you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah. But what if you did?
So that level gonna have to be that.
Mm-hmm. What if you did so much like, or you practiced like half high and half sober, and then you mastered both realities? and you can operate in any
then
reality
then then, then
perfectly.
it become that. Then your mind it become that.
Hmm. And yeah, it will become that, right? It will become
Right.
50-50. But is that
And
is
then
that
yeah, and then that 50-50 is that what you train your mind to be. Then you can't go over that.
yeah, unless you practice in a different space or reality.
Exactly.
Like saying I
It's
want to
tricky,
practice
bro.
being high on cocaine. And
Not
then
even that. It's like let's say it's not even that. It's like basketball, right? If you really want to do well with your three free throws, you go into the gym and your mind your mind have to think like, okay, today I'm just going to practice free throws, not 3 points. So your shot, the way you shoot changes because you're not really shooting long distance now. You shoot in short distance to make the free throws
mhm.
instead of that long arc and long power. You don't power it now. You just literally trying to just boost it. So like your motion in your mind changes. Because let's say if you trick your mind and be like, okay, I'm gonna shoot like 3 pointer at three throw, then you're really not gonna make anything. But that's where the 50-50 comes, right? You shoot 3 points, that's the 100%. You shoot three throws, that's the 50%. So
Yeah.
your mind is always has to be okay with it. But there's people who do those mistakes where that's why they can't make a shot
Yeah.
because they overthink of like, okay, like they're shooting 3 point, or they shooting like they're shooting three throws. So like if they're shooting 3 pointer, then they do air ball because they're thinking they're shooting three throws.
Yeah. On that note, you know who's fucked up like that is Ben Simmons. That motherfucker's been in the league for like 3 years and he still can't make 3 pointers. You you would
I
think it,
mean, he makes some, but it's like even Taco Fall makes 3 points.
but Ben Simmons he don't even want to shoot no 3 pointers. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many threes do you think he
But
shot
I
this
think,
season so far?
but I think it's for him. It's like he doesn't need it. His speed, his agility, and his big.
Hmm.
So I don't think he even need to shoot 3 points. The fact that he's that big,
Yeah.
I think he just need to be as like somebody who drives in all the time, and that's why Philly you hired him to be in Philly, to be there because he wasn't recruited to go and play to shoot threes. He was recruited because he drives. So if he shoot threes and misses, it's like Ben Simmons, what are you doing, right? And everybody have their own mentality, but you shoot some, you make you miss some. It's part of life, but I feel like a lot of people trick themselves in believing they're good three-point shooters, right? They trick themselves.
I think right now it's okay because he's still young and he's athletic, but as he gets older and say he becomes into his like we're 35 years old, like where he can't be athletic anymore, then he has to learn how to shoot a jump shot, you know?
No, but then he doesn't even need to be in three-point line. He's tall, he's lengthy. All he needs to practice is just being in the paint, like inside,
Mhm.
just shooting from the perimeter of like a free throw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So
that's
like,
but that's going back to what we were talking about like levels. If he doesn't practice, if that's not in his game, it's not like second nature, it would probably take him like a whole summer to practice like adjusting his style of game, right?
yeah, but it doesn't take him long because his mind is already used to the game.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really, it's not like going to a different level. It's the same level. All he's changing is an attitude to what he's trying to do.
Mhm. So you're saying he can play that style already. He doesn't have to practice it. It's already in him.
Exactly. And I
For
don't think he put in effort,
yeah,
right?
but for 3 pointers, that would take a different type of mentality
Different training.
because that's not in
Oh
his
yeah.
game right now. So it would take
No,
him.
in his nature too. He wasn't born literally like a 3 point, like Stephen Curry was born a 3 point shooter. Like he can shoot from anywhere. And the reason he shoot 3 point because he's not big like Big Simmons. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like gene. It's like DNA thing. Like his father is a great three-point shooter. His brother is a great three-point shooter. His mother played basketball. He was a great three shooter. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like family, the whole family is a gene. They play basketball, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm
The
gonna.
dynamic is just like what you are grown into and what you really practice over and over and over and over. And I feel like he practiced more like driving.
Yeah. What have you been up to since you moved back to Senegal? I think that was around like December, right? That you moved there.
I just been quarantined, man, to be honest, just because my family when I came back they got COVID, so it was like I just really quarantined for a couple months though. And the situation here really a lot of curfews, a
Oh.
lot of restrictions and stuff like that.
Mm.
Not a lot of things are open, but it's great to live next to ocean. It's a blessing for sure.
You said your family, the one that you're living with, is it like your immediate family or is it just kind of like a?
And this is not just my American family.
So you said they had gotten COVID recently, right?
Yeah, 25 days, 24 days ago.
Interesting. So what is the COVID situation like out there in Senegal? Are the numbers pretty high
Well, that's the
compared?
thing. Because
Mhm.
of the technology, it's hard to know. They're not doing testing a lot like California or like other states,
How did your parents find out they had COVID?
or they had all the symptoms and they did the testing. So they definitely had it. They can't smell, they can't taste.
You mentioned something about like the restrictions there. How are the restrictions in Senegal compared to LA?
Well, LA, I mean, America is just different, right? Like that freedom of speech and all that stuff is, people not wearing masks here is very implemented. And if they say, it goes, it goes. You get beat it out here. You don't go to jail. You get beat.
So they
They
have.
go out in the street and beating people up, bro.
So it's the police that are
They
beating
make
up
the
the
law.
people that not wearing masks, or it's the citizens that
Yeah,
are.
the police or the citizen. Why would the citizen beat people because they're not wearing masks?
Yeah. So
Police.
so it's the police then, man. So are the police? You think the police are more aggressive in Senegal than LA?
Or they just more aggressive to implement the laws so that people can wear a mask. I mean, in the US, there's really no laws. I mean, in Orange County, I haven't seen anybody wearing one. Restaurants are open, bars are open, so
Yeah. I mean, some restaurants out
hey,
here.
now maybe a little bit less.
Hmm. Yeah, some
Huh?
restaurants out here in LA, they have like outdoor eating, right? They stay open, but they don't let people eat inside. But out in Senegal, is it
Yeah, but what
mm,
difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference to me. Like literally, it's like why not just let me inside? I mean, if you're having like 40, 30 people outside, or at least like 15 people outside, they're still coughing, they're still doing shit. So like, it's just, for me, I don't
yeah.
know. But the restriction here is like, you gotta wear a mask. You go out, you wear a mask.
Hmm.
Just for shopping and stuff like that, you wear a mask. You go into the transport stuff, you wear a mask.
Yeah. It's kind of
The
interesting.
curfew from 6.
You said there's curfew out there
What is
from.
that?
You said there's curfew out there from what time?
From 9 p.m. till like 6 a.m.
9 to 6. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Hmm. And you said that like uh, a lot of stuff is closed down out there as far as like restaurants and shopping centers.
Yeah, pretty much so, like clubs, bars, everything. Yeah.
So I guess
Yes, yes.
overall as a whole, you would say that they're a little bit more strict in Senegal than LA as far as like COVID restrictions.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, for sure.
How do you feel about that? You feel like it's better or worse as far as the restrictions?
I mean, for me, I'm flexible. As long as people playing their part and doing what they're supposed to do, I have no problem with it. It's the law. Law is the law. I don't really care what kind of law it is, but as long as the law is being respected by the people who are placing it in place.
Yeah.
Like you don't tell me I'm wear a mask and you don't wear a mask.
COVID is one of those interesting things, man, because it's different all over the world in different countries. Like some countries they're a little bit more strict. Like in the Philippines, they enforce the law. Like I'm sure in Africa, in Senegal in particular, where you're at, they have curfew. They have more restrictions on like outdoor stuff. Like LA, they have them, but I guess they don't really enforce them as hard. But you still have like people out here like the entitled rich motherfuckers from like Orange County that complain about their little
But they
restrictions,
have
right?
their own. They have their own law.
They have their own laws in their mind, right? But
Not even their mind. They really have their own laws in Orange County.
probably, I don't know. I haven't lived in Orange County, so I'm not sure like what it is, but I know that a lot of times what we see on the
Well, I mean,
news.
I lived there and I saw it, right? I mean, when even they say shut down, they didn't. They didn't. When they said people should wear masks, they didn't.
The laws are the laws, right? But people are going to do what they want to do unless the law enforcement enforces it, you know?
Which they won't.
Yeah. So I guess that's the major difference. One of them is that they don't enforce the law as hard, it seems, as in out here in LA, Orange County, than they do in like Senegal, right? And I'm
Well,
sure.
not just Senegal in general, like other European countries like Germany, uh, France, a lot of the countries. I mean, they really enforcing the law of people wearing the mask. I mean, in the US, I see people going to the store, going to the market, and not wear masks.
Hmm.
Grocery store, shops.
But you think like that really? Do you think that really matters, like in the grand scheme of things? Because people here, they're if they don't wear masks, they're I think the levels or the amount of cases are a little bit higher, right, in LA or in LA and America in general versus other
Oh no, I
countries.
mean, if you think about it, US is one of the place that, what is the second populous place in the world or third, whatever. And if you think about it, like all the elderly, all the people who have problem with the breathing problem, like asthma, lung diseases, uh, people who are don't have strong immune system, they basically exterminated, like basically just taken out, wiped out. Because it's like, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it was like the hospital saying like if the somebody have no chances of surviving and still alive, they shouldn't even bring them in. You get what I'm saying? So like the mentality of people, the young people in LA especially, because it's it's almost an industry of like, young people who trying to be like models, movie stars. They don't care, right? All they want is fame. They care about more themselves than really. They care more about the lights, right? The action, what is going on, the vibe, the life, the beaches, the sexiness, all that stuff. So you get sucked into that, right? You get sucked into that, and then you don't really care about it. You don't care about your mother, you don't care about your uncle, you don't care about your grandparents, all of these things that adds up to be like, the most important in the family thing. And then you go out to Miami and party your ass out, go to Vegas and party, go to LA and party, and you go home at the end of the day, and who do you see? Your grandparents, your uncles, your mothers, your sisters, all those people who maybe may not have strong immune system like you, and you may not get the virus, but you may carry it, right? You go out there and distribute it to your family, and you wipe out maybe like five people in their family. And then you'd be like, oh, now you'd be like, oh, I got a quarantine. What kind of bullshit is this? I think like you gotta really care too. You gotta make sure like, if you're going seeing people you care, like making sure like, you really follow the protocol of CDC, right? I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah,
I
the
just feel like
protocol, right?
this more. They don't care so much.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. And as far as like LA, what you're talking about LA, there's a lot of people, especially as you said, the younger kids that they're not too concerned, right? They're a little bit more self-centered and they care more about their self-interests over, the people that
Hmm.
they affect. And but I think a lot of times that's young people in general too. But maybe we see it more in LA, right? Because like you said, LA is more about entertainment, right?
Yeah.
People want to be on the
I mean,
scene.
the young people in Germany who actually love to party more than American. They drink a lot, they party a lot more than American people do. But at the same time, it's like, are you gonna follow, the restriction that they put in place? Like, it's not really restriction for me. In the US, it's not restriction. Like, it's all like warning, basically for me,
Hmm.
right? Because like there's no consequences. The consequences, like if, I don't know, you get arrested maybe, or you get a little fine. I don't know. I don't know what the protocols are there, but I know like when they put that in order, it's like there's really no protocols.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they do create laws for the people, but I think what we talked about is they don't enforce it as hard out here in at least in LA, Orange County versus like Senegal or like Germany or in Asian countries like China or the Philippines. The law enforcement, they enforce that shit. Like you said, they be beating motherfuckers, right, if they don't follow the laws or they don't follow curfew, right? But out here, it's not as strict.
And that's why more people die. So
Do you
at
think?
the end of the day, it's like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think that this COVID-19 is kind of like a form of population control
Absolutely.
made by the
I believe so.
Illuminati?
Anything is possible for sure. And to really emphasize that is more, like if they can control who get the vaccine first and how think about it, like how long does it take to come out with a vaccine? Think about it, right? It takes them less than a year to make a vaccine. Previous vaccine, it takes them almost 5 years, a decade. You can't just make the vaccine like that, like overnight. Like if they don't know about it, they wouldn't have done that. This is shit already prepared.
Mm-hmm.
It's a setup to like they have this technology already. They know about this thing already. They know where it came from. They know what it is.
So
Yeah.
so you're saying it's
And
a
then I
it's a
mean,
it's a
this is just the beginning. I feel like,
so you're saying it's a man-made virus with a man-made vaccine that was the vaccine was produced very quickly
well,
because they already knew that they were going to put this
I mean, the
virus out.
vaccine is man-made. The vaccine is man-made. We know that, right? People made a vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
not a machine, not anybody. It's human-made.
Mm-hmm.
So that one we know. How the hell would they make a vaccine that fast? That's my question. That's why I'm like, so if they can make a vaccine that quick, why didn't they make all the other vaccine? This is the only vaccine in the world, you can look it up, that is made like in less than a year.
Yeah.
Malaria, cholera, Ebola, um, typhoid, guinea worm, all of these diseases, it takes them like 10 years to make a vaccine for them or to make a product that fight those things. And this COVID thing, they made it overnight. Ebola did during the Ebola time, it was, we have all the technology in the world, we need to make the vaccine right away. But they never made it because you know what? It never hit the modern world. It never hit Europe, it never hit US, right? Because it hit Africa and they just left the country, they left the continent of Africa by itself. So they closed off all the borders. The US closed their border, the France closed their border, and they say, well, now you guys deal with it. And then because now COVID is hitting more the US and those countries, now they mix in the vaccine.
Yeah, that's why this COVID thing, man, is a very highly politicized topic, especially even the vaccine now, because there's so many different or differentiating opinions about COVID in general, and then now the vaccine. Should I take it? Should I not take it? There's people on the front lines that it's mandatory for them to
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, I mean, whether you take it or not, the chances, getting it again is like what, 94% chance of not getting it? And what is the other 6%? You're gonna get it?
Yeah, you're gonna get it
Do you get
regardless.
what I'm saying?
I think vaccine
Yeah,
doesn't
so it's like
the vaccine doesn't
the
really
only
stop
thing that
people
can
from getting it.
protect you is your
Yeah,
body.
I think the vaccine, it just
And
causes
of course, I believe in traditional medicine, bro.
like Dr. Sebi. You know him? You heard of him? The dude that
I
was
do not.
he was like this he was like this African like doctor who was trying to, I think he was trying to find, or he said he had, or he knew the cure for like AIDS. He was trying to make like some kind of like movie or documentary, or he wasn't, but like Nipsey Hussle was trying to make a documentary about Dr. Sebi before Nipsey Hussle passed away, because he was trying to say, yeah, what you were talking about through like diet and healthy living and your body having its own immune system, being able to fight off different things is through like food basically. And so Dr. Sebi, he was one of those dudes that he passed away, and then Nipsey Hussle passed away, and then I think Nick Cannon was trying to make this documentary. So I don't know where it's at right now, but yeah, he was along the same lines as you, is that, you know, it's the immune system, right? Our natural immune system.
That's all it is. Think about it. Like a lot of people, they rarely get sick. Rarely. Rarely. They go to a doctor, they got one pill, and they're sick for the rest of their life. There is an issue there. There's a problem there, you know? I mean, you do surgery. You hook me up with these pills called oxycodone. You get hooked to those. Your life is done. You weren't born with that.
Yeah, you got to be pretty
Your
strong.
mother, your father, your environment didn't give you that.
Getting off of COVID-19 and the vaccine and stuff, we can always go back to that later. But like me and Dan, he told me before I even met you, you know, he said that because he knew you first, and he said that he would always joke but about you being a prince from Africa. That was what he would tell me. He's like, you're a real live prince. So can you talk about a little bit about where you grew up, what country you grew up, what city or town you grew up, and then also a little bit about being a prince?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to really say it, because my grandfather was a chief, like chief. We were in chiefism kind of environment growing up, and I don't know, I'm not sure if it's a prince. I guess it is, but my father, so when my grandfather died, well, first of all, I grew up in Niger, which is like nomad. I'm a nomad, right? People who move from place to place. You can just look up Fulani or whatever, WODAABE tribe in Niger. You will see a bunch of all my tribe. It's about 200,000 tribe in my country, and my father was in charge of all of those people. And so when my grandfather died, he gave the role to my father to be the next chief, right? But at the time before he passed away, because in the family the youngest always take over inherits everything, which I was the youngest. I was supposed to be the chief, but I was too young, so my father became one till I grew up. But when I grew up, my mother did not want to give me that role, so he put me in school through the family that I'm staying with, because my father, my mother, my family never went to school. Actually, the whole tribe had never been to school. I'm probably the only person with education in my tribe of 200,000 people. And so even with like kindergarten education, no, I mean, now people may be educated, but they may be like 9th grade level education. But I'm the only one person with a diploma, like high school, associate, 2-year degree, 4-year degree, kind of shit. So then, because I was the youngest, I was supposed to take over, but I didn't want to, so I just kept the role with my father. But my father, I was leaving. So when he left, I mean, I don't know where he went, but I think he went to Nigeria, which is another country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he stayed out there, and then they said, you know, nobody rules enough. So my mother kind of took over the role of like delegating, doing things. But in my country, it is strange for a woman to be in the leadership position. But she ended up doing it anyway, but she passed away 2018.
Sorry to hear about
December
that.
2019, December 2019. Then when she passed away, I was supposed to go back and sort of, because my grandfather, when he died, he left a bunch of animals, like, I don't know, maybe almost 2,000 animals or something. cows, sheep, goats, a lot. Supposed to like go out there and split it through the family and see who own what and stuff like that. And so that's one thing that I came back here to do, and the other thing was go to my mother's grave, and so yeah.
Is that something that you want to pursue, like becoming like
No,
the ruler, or that's out of the question at this point in your life?
mm-mm, no,
Yeah, so you're like screw that. I ain't trying to go back and run it.
no. It's not. I didn't say screw that. It's just that I don't feel comfortable. I didn't grow up in that kind of culture, you know. So it wouldn't be fair for me just because I didn't grow up in that culture.
So who is currently ruling the tribe then
I'm not
after your
really
mother?
sure. I think it's my brother or my uncle, one of those. And
Interesting.
I don't want to find out too.
How come you don't want to
Yeah,
find out?
it's not something I'm interested in.
Oh, okay. So it's just a different
It's
part
not
of.
my, it's not. Yeah, I mean I can appoint somebody, but it's just too much work. It's not easy
Yeah, so it's a part of your life that
because
you just want to leave in the past.
yeah, but I'm looked at as the one. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Is there like a time period where?
People look at me as I should come back and save them. Huh?
Yeah, I feel you. They want you to come back and save it, but you're like, man, I don't
Yeah.
want no parts of it, man. That ain't my culture, right? I mean, at
Not
least.
even that it wasn't my culture. It's just that I didn't grow up in it.
Hmm.
I didn't, I left when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah. When you left when you were 8 years old, where did you move to?
I moved to the city,
The city of.
to the main capital. So just left the culture of my nomadic life.
Oh,
I
okay.
started school.
And then, but so when you say the city, that was another city in outside of Niger.
When I'm saying city, we literally, when I say nomad, if you know what nomad is, there's no city.
Yeah, but
There's no town. There's no nothing. There's nothing. It's just land.
when you were 8, you moved to the city, right? And
I
went to
moved
school
into the city, which is the capital of my country,
of
the
Niger,
capital
right?
city. Yeah.
Okay. And then you started going to school there.
So, so the nomad live up north, where it's just like pasture with greenery, with animals. It's land of like middle of nowhere. I'm serious. Like you won't understand it, but it's just the way life is. You maybe can look up documentary of whatever people and you will understand what I'm talking about. Because I'm explaining it, but I'm feeling like every time I explain to somebody, they won't understand it. When I explain people about my country, they won't understand it because it's completely like a Mars. It's like a Mars. Like if you look at National Geographic and you look at Mars, no, I'm being serious. Like it's
I
not
believe
even
you. I
a
believe you.
joke.
I know. I
No,
know
I
that.
mean
I
like
know
just
there's.
look at it. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I know there's places on Earth where the lifestyle is just very different than what we're accustomed to in America. Like we wouldn't understand. We can hear
Oh
it
yeah.
and try to understand, but we would never get it until we actually visit there or live there for a while. But I've read a lot
And
about.
I'm tell you,
Hmm.
there's 200 tribe people. There's about maybe 100 and something thousand people who have never seen a car or a white person in their life.
That's
It's
wild.
just the truth.
Yeah. Do they and do
It's
they
the truth.
in these
Honest to God.
nomadic tribes, like do they have internet connection or no internet at all?
There's not even cell phone.
It's kind of like
I have never seen the cell phone till I moved into the city. Even when I moved to the city, I didn't own my own phone till I was 21, and I'm 29 now.
do you think it would be hard for you to go back into that lifestyle after knowing
Of course, I
what
mean
you
that's
know
why I
now?
said I can't. There's no way. Um, my most life I will do will be in the city.
Yeah.
I went back when my mom was alive. I almost died, man.
Yeah, how did you almost die?
Well, it's hot. It's 130 degrees. It's in the desert, and the closest water is about 2 days, and the water is not purified, and my body's not used to that. And riding donkey, it's not like riding a car. And if you rode a car, there's no paved road. It's like literally bouncy road all the way. So to get to my place from the city is about 14 days, man.
Damn, that's wild, yo. That's a crazy
It's out
lifestyle.
in the middle of nowhere. You can look it up, man. Look up National Geography about the nomads in Niger.
So you pronounce it Niger or Niger?
Well, it's just like the way French colonized, so they say Niger, but in English it's just Niger.
Niger. I wanna say it how you say it.
Yeah, I say it so many different ways, man. Just say it the way you feel comfortable. No problem.
Niger. Niger. Oh man, I can see how that would be hard to go back to that lifestyle, man, after you've been living in the city and then you move to LA and you've experienced certain
Yeah,
things.
I wasn't able to.
How can you go backwards
I tried.
yeah. That'd be
Yeah,
tough. That'd be tough for me.
it's like we don't sleep on mattress. We sleep on mats. My body wasn't able to do that.
You were talking about going progressing mentally into like more advanced civilizations and then finding it hard to go back into like a more primitive.
I'm not finding it hard. It's just it's something that happened in your life. Let's say you're able to go back to even Korea. When you go back to Korea, you don't feel it like as being home. You feel like you're just visiting and going back.
Hmm.
Like you won't be longer than like 2, 3 months and you're gonna be homesick, you know. But you have the technology, you have the things, you can still do things like you doing in the US, but it would just be different freedom. And then now you have to have a different server to different group of people, like different kind of style. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you will still be looked at different. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because those people are not used to you, then now you have to like kind of integrate and trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And I won't fit
Maybe not in the beginning, but if you,
because there's no technology, but there's no technology for me to help that fit. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, unless there was a way you could like raise capital and then bring technology to the nomadic tribe, right? And
Yeah,
build it up.
but that's not even the nomad tribe. That's the whole country.
Yeah. Is there a
That's
way to?
just not the nomad. It's just the whole country. The whole country is, I mean, you have to really look at the history of Niger. You have to look at, if you want to learn about the country and you understand where I come from, then you understand what I'm telling you. Because now you won't understand if I'm telling you.
Uh-huh.
Because you think I'm just, or you may not think I'm bullshitting, but it's just like, how can that be, right?
No, I believe
With
it.
all the technology that we have. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you have to really understand
I
and
believe.
read about it and understand where it's coming from.
No, I
I
believe
mean,
you.
like even
Hmm.
the high officials in Niger, they have a high school diploma. Like my president have 10th grade level.
Yeah. No, I believe you because I do know just from reading that there are places in America, not just in uh Niger, not just in Niger, where um there's places that do not have like any type of technology, you know, even in like country or cities or places in Asia or Australia that's very underdeveloped, and there's people that have no idea what's going on outside of the environment that they're from, like in that area. So the stuff that we worry about in America or more advanced civilizations, they would never know, or they don't even care about that, right? Because they have their own day-to-day issues. But their day-to-day issues might be easier or harder compared to our day-to-day in more advanced civilizations, but we would never know, right? It just be whatever environment we're in, that just becomes our reality, right?
Yeah, in a way.
You don't think that the civilization eventually over time, like your tribe would ever become more advanced technology, or it's just not in the cards at all?
So let me tell you something. Niger is about 21 million people. In 2010, well, just let me take about example. In 2018,
Uh-huh.
it was about 18 million people. In 2000, now 2021, it's about 22 million people, right?
Uh-huh.
About 5% people, 5% in the country of 21 million people have a smartphone. 5% of 21 million. The 90% or the other percent, maybe like 20% have a flip phone that doesn't have Wi-Fi, that doesn't just use the tower. And that's the whole population. All flip phone, None of them. I mean, people don't know even how to use a phone. They don't even know how to write their name. How would they know the technology? The one thing that has to be implemented is education. Like people have to be educated to learn things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's no education.
Yeah.
There's about 5% of people are educated in Niger. 5 people, 5%,
Mm-hmm.
or actually less, 3%.
Do you think that it would be better or worse for the country if they became more educated? Would you want to see, I guess what I'm asking is,
Too much corruption.
would you want to see it become more like America? Because America has its own corruption, even with our technological advances. But would it be better for
Yeah,
the
but people
mass?
can able to identify. But you're not down to not identify what Trump is telling you. You can do your own research. But when you're telling people who are not educated about that, they believe that, and they end up in the trap. There's a difference. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think people will believe.
So for you to make the country that is low in the world, like my country is the third or second the poorest country in the world. Do you know how many countries are there in the world?
Off the top, I'm not sure exactly how many established countries there
Okay,
are.
you let me know. You let me know.
Yeah, but keep going. That's besides the point. Whatever. But I feel what you're saying.
So
So if your country
so
is on the lowest, then okay.
yes,
Mhm.
it's hard. It's just one able to. For it to work, you have to get people, like a lot of people, to bring education to that country, right? Like if I said I'm gonna bring like Bill Gates, for example, right? That might make a lot of difference in some people, but then the people he's gonna be working with is like the government, right? Who actually control all that.
Mhm.
So then it will be the government people benefiting, not the nomad people.
Yeah. I think whether you have
So
technology or you don't have technology, it all depends on the powers above that are running the mass
yeah,
population.
like even right now, right? Yeah. I mean, even in the US, how can we get one president that controls a lot of the shit and says a lot of things and nobody's doing anything about it? But we are educated.
Mhm.
There's a problem there. And even like just picking up what happened last week, right? Or a few days ago about the impeachment. How the hell those educated senators or state senators and they went still vote for Trump when they know what he has done, broke a law, and they still believe what he did is right when he called that thing at the Capitol to be looted. You got what I'm saying? But they have diplomas, they're educated, they've been to school. That's how you know that, like, the power of somebody impacts how other people believe. And then it went so far that in Africa that it's like that's the problem, right?
Mhm. But that has
So
nothing to do with like education or technological advances, right? That just has to do with the powers that are in
of
control,
course
right?
it does. Of course it does. Think about it. The FBI knew about this thing happening, but they still didn't do anything about it.
Mhm. But
So there's
there's
a technology, right?
but there's still corruption in places that aren't as educated and technologically advanced too, right?
No, it's about control.
Yeah, corruption, control, whatever.
Yeah,
Whoever's in control and whoever
make
has
make
the
make the
voice
shots. Yeah,
of the
makes the
people,
shots.
yeah, dictates. So I'm sure in your nomadic tribe or less educated and technologically advanced places, whoever has the control over the voice of the mass population is calling the shots, right?
Yeah,
So,
and that's why it's hard for me to do certain things because I'm not from didn't live there. So if I go back there and start saying this and this and that, I might end up getting killed. I'm serious. It's not even a joke, to be honest. Like, you know, I have been in this situation where people trying to kill me because I'm a former tribal chieftain. My own family, bro. They killed my mother. Why couldn't they kill me?
I don't know if that's something you want to speak on. Like, How did they?
No, really, but it's just, what I'm saying is like this evil in a lot of people, right? Even within the family,
Yeah. When you say they tried to kill
So
you, did they? You had death threats, or they actually physically tried to do something? There was like an actual
there's
incident.
so much, a lot of those, man, a lot of those. Especially the fact that my grandfather left all of these. They think we're trying to not give them the wealth, right? They think if they got all of it, they'll be wealthy. But in general, they can't even feed themselves. They can't even feed those animals. So
Yeah.
the situation is more complicated,
I believe that.
And I don't want to be, and I don't want to be in those shoes. Yeah. I seen my grandfather struggle. I see my dad leave. I'm not trying to. I don't know.
That's a different kind of pressure, man. But maybe you have the answer
Oof.
since you've seen the world and you have a bit bigger understanding than some of the people that.
Yeah, but the people who didn't see it don't think about it. They don't care about it. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean
Take
they.
one mistake.
Mhm. They don't really have to care
The
about.
thing is, I don't know. The thing is, like a home. I don't know a lot of people, right? So if I go back and then word goes out, it's over for me.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
My
lot of.
mother, my mother always warned me
Yeah.
that that's why I need to start from like inside, and that's what my goal is. Start with the government, not with the people.
Mm.
Change the government mind, because they control it. I want to control them, so then I can do whatever I want to do.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That's
agree.
the only way to change it. That's the only way to change it. And if you can manipulate the government to trust you and to work with you, you protect it. Because you're like gold mine for them, right?
Is that
Like
something
for
you
me being a chief, huh?
is that something you would want to get into later? Is politics?
I mean, it's not even about politics. At this point, it's not really politics. I don't have to be in politics to be this. I just have to work with them,
I
you
guess
know?
politics in the sense that if you're working with the government, technically you're into politics.
Not
Mm.
working, like not actually go to and work over there, but have them, kind of work with the people
Yeah,
and
but
having all those put in places like um, education schools, more like sustainable stuff and stuff like that, so that they can help those people to really integrate into the society, right?
mhm.
And also like the mind changing a little bit almost with the mind of elderly people because they believe in the long tradition. So it's hard to really work with those people because they have mindset of like 80, 90 years ago. I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years ago type of stuff.
Mhm.
They like the way the environment is. They don't want to change that.
Then that comes to another issue, right? Is if you are able to work with the government and then implement new ideas and plans, do you think the people would want to change or they're too comfortable with their current lifestyle?
That's the easy part, you know. Bring somebody something that they don't have. They'll respect you forever.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. I mean, you can see it in California, in LA, right? Somebody who has 100 followers is better than somebody who has 50. And somebody who has 50 is better than somebody who have 10. And somebody who have 10 is better than somebody who have 1K. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But do you think the people in the nomadic tribes would be open minded to adapting to a new way of life, or they just want to live how they've been living?
Obviously, I mean, if you change a few people and they're doing well more than you're doing, of course they're gonna follow that lead. You just take one person, right? It takes one thing. You change one thing, and then they see it, they want to do the same.
Yeah.
But then the government is stopping all of that. Nobody can have change. Everybody has to be the same.
So you think over time then it could change. There's a possibility for the nomadic tribes, the people to change and become more technologically advanced and educated, but it's going to take some time though, right?
A lot of time, a lot of time. It
Yeah.
will be a long time for sure, like very long time. But it's doable.
It takes a powerful person or somebody with a big goal or dream to make some small changes, right? and then hopefully,
I don't think it even has to be with a big dream and big goals. I think it just even small, because those people want something, but they're not giving it to.
but they need a leader, right? If they don't have a leader
Y-
that's willing to
Yeah,
step
I
up and go to
mean,
bat for them, it'll be tougher.
yeah, exactly. But they believe so much in what the government is telling them, right? So like if I go there and I say this and that, they might not even do anything to me. The government will come for me.
Hmm.
And then see it over and over and over in Africa, where like, if I'm going out there and talking mac about government, even in China, the journalists are getting killed because they're talking shit about the president. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, that happened
It,
to my grandpa, man. He was in journalism in China, and they were trying to kill him, and that's why he had to flee to Taiwan and then eventually to the United States in the 50s during the Civil War in China.
yeah,
So it happens. Yeah.
same thing that I have to be careful about.
Hmm.
Like I can't go out there and be like, oh, I'm a chief. I can't even say that shit.
Yeah.
I really can't. I can't afford it.
So after you turned 8 and then you moved to the city, right, away from the nomadic tribe, and then how long were you in the city?
For a very long time, till I was 15, 12 years old, some shit like that. 12, 13.
About 12 or 13, and then after
Then I
that
moved to a different country. I moved to Mali. Then I went to a school down there.
you moved to where?
A different country, Mali.
Mali, but that's still in Africa, right?
It's still in Africa.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Then I moved to Ghana, then Madagascar, then Europe, uh, I went to Europe, and then afterwards I came to the US.
Damn. So you lived a lot of different places then. Which place did you like the best?
I say Madagascar just because it's an island. There's a lot of going on. The ocean is super clean. There's always changes. It's always clean because it rains a lot.
Yeah. How long were you out there for?
From 2009 till 2003 years.
So that's a good amount of time. 3 years. You can get pretty accustomed to a
Oh
lifestyle
yeah,
culture in three
I went to
years.
high school down there.
How
Yeah.
how were the ladies there compared to LA?
Nah, I wasn't into ladies, bro. To be honest, I was concentrating. I was struggling a lot with high school at the time. I was trying to finish high school.
Was it tougher high school there because of like language?
Well, a lot of those. I mean, I'm coming from a British system in Ghana, and then I'm going into an American system, which is completely different. Different learning, different style, different material. So it was really language barriers too was an issue. I spoke 4 languages before I spoke English, so it's like a lot of that was confusing for me. So I couldn't able to concentrate, and at the same time I couldn't able to like relate. And then also trying to make new friends is hard, because the more you move, the more you have to make new friends. So that really affected me huge because I'm a people. And the fact that I have to change friends all the time and then just keep moving, it became almost more less emotion. Like I wouldn't even tell my friends that I was leaving. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even this trip, just few people know about it.
After Madagascar, then where did you go after that?
We came to Boston, US, for 6 years.
So you
We
were
moved to Cali.
how many years were you in America for total?
So from 2011 till 2017. I mean 2020.
20 basically, right?
Yeah.
So 9 years. So in America, then you moved to Boston for 6 years, and then you were just were
Well,
you
actually, no, it wasn't Boston. It's like northern Boston, which is New England, New Hampshire.
so not Boston, New England, New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Okay. Between the East Coast and the West Coast, which one, if you had a choice, which one do you prefer?
West Coast for sure. Fuck East Coast.
Why,
Shit.
why so?
Too cold, man. African people don't do cold, brother. Too cold, too cold.
Yeah, I feel you. So the weather is probably the main thing, right?
For me, actually, the only reason I moved was the weather.
Oh, okay.
If it wasn't the weather, I would never have moved. It's too cold. It's like negative 22 degrees, negative 30. I'm like, hell no.
What did you get your degree in out here at Cal State Fullerton?
I got it in like management.
Any particular kind of management or just general?
Oh, just general management. I also some computers, some coding,
Mm.
but I'm also just like environmental uh like services. Like basically have to find services for people. Like let's say if you have disability, you have to find that, and then also like counseling, therapy, a mental health type of thing. So just finding different services for people and helping in a sense of getting to point A to point B.
Mm. Okay. I know you're a little bit tired. I don't want to keep you that
I
long.
don't know,
I'm gonna take a piss, smoke some weed with you, and then
but I got you.
we can probably flow a little bit longer, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour or so, and then close out.
I got you.
All right, I'm gonna take a piss. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll be right
All
back.
right,
All right. I appreciate your time though. Still,
no problem, big dog.
thank you for sharing your stories.
Always.
Be right back, player. There's so much information that passes right throughout like time on the day to day. So much information.
Always.
It's hard to keep up with everything. How do you prioritize your time, man?
Whatever I think is important, that's what I'm gonna do, man. I
Yeah.
don't prioritize anything. If I think it's important for me, I do it. And if I think it's important for somebody else's, then I think I'm gonna value that too.
Uh-huh.
If I can help myself and help somebody, and if I can help somebody, then I'll do that. But I don't. At the end of the day, I just don't waste time. I gotta think, is this really worth worth it? And if it's not, I'm not gonna do it.
What are some of the things you do on the day to day, like out there now in
A lot of running
a lot of running, like physically or like to like
physically.
physically, just to like run
Yeah,
for
and
health?
I'm teaching here, like teaching.
Yeah. You started working already?
Yeah, my internship. Yeah,
Oh, okay. You said it's an internship?
yeah. Um, Working with at American school here.
So are you doing it like virtually now because of COVID, or you're doing it like
No, we
in
go in
person?
person.
In person?
Yeah,
I'm assuming you're probably wearing masks though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You got to be safe, right? How do you like it so far?
Not bad. I'm like their school counselor, you know.
I think no matter what, it's gonna be a good experience.
Oh, will be, yeah. I mean, everything depends on how you take it. It's everything, anything. It's you. It starts with you,
Yeah, I agree.
right? If people like you, it's because it's your personality. If people hate you, because of your personality.
Big facts, man.
Being patient and going with the flow is always the best thing you can do, right?
I think every experience that we had, either good or bad, like it was because we chose to do it, right?
Yeah, but also we learn a lot from it if you want to. Like I said earlier, I don't care what other people think. But in the real world that we live in, it's not true.
What do you mean?
We do care.
Hmm.
We humans. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And if I did, it's not intentionally.
Good or bad, right? Good or bad. We have to live with our
Good or bad,
choices,
we
right?
just learn from it and move on.
I like your braids, man. When did you get those
Oh,
done?
thanks, bro. Getting done, getting done here, about a week ago.
About a week ago. They still look pretty good. Do you sleep with like a do-rag?
Hell no, I never owned a durag in my life.
Yeah. So you just
I
sleep.
should though.
How do you sleep with them? Like you just sleep with them open,
I don't. Just like that.
just like that? Damn,
Yeah, I don't. I never put in durag or tie them or anything.
yeah,
Which probably they will last longer if I do have a durag.
yeah. It keeps them down. You when you take a shower, do you just like kind of like let it
I rub it all over.
oil?
No, no. Shampoo.
Oh, shampoo. I used to have braids when I was in college, man. Just
Yeah,
like
you told me that.
just like that, man, and that shit would itch a lot. Like, cause I would always wear a shower cap, man, cause I didn't want them to get messed up like too fast.
Yeah, but I mean, even me right now is like, it's itching me a little bit because it's getting loose. So I'm on my next week, just take them out and wash my hair. And
Do you have somebody in particular that you go to?
yeah, I mean, Africa here, they're everywhere. I can just, any lady I see on the street, be, can you braid my hair? They will do it. But I usually just go to specific girl that just does it and kind of come to my house and do it.
Is she
Go back.
attractive?
I don't really look at anybody like that, you know. I'm not into that anymore, I guess, like about that sense of like what attractive or not. I just see it as a business. Everybody's just trying to make a living.
Are the prices of getting your hair braided there versus LA cheaper or more expensive?
Yeah, I mean, the hair is like $2. Where
Yeah.
else in LA would you find a braid that costs $2? You can't even spend it $2. I mean, since I lived in LA, I never really spent it $2. The most I spent it was $5 and over. I
Yeah.
went to $1 store. They told me it's $1 stuff, but I ended up spending more than $1.
When you got your hair braided in LA, like did you go to like a beauty salon type place, like a
No,
or
I had a
bar?
lady come over to my house.
Oh, okay, damn. Do
She
you,
drove from LA and did my hair.
that must be pretty expensive though, right? To have somebody come to your house, or was it pretty reasonable?
The hair was $80, and I paid $25 for her gas. So
Yeah,
whatever the amount is, you know, $105 or whatever.
yeah. How often would you get it
Month.
braided? Once a
I do
month?
it monthly, or I just like comb it and then just tie it.
Yeah, I guess if you're only getting it once a month, then 105 is not too bad because then you break it down weekly, right? And that's
Yeah. And
probably,
that's how much it will cost me to do it even in Orange County.
oh, you're saying if you went to Orange County and then you had to get
Yeah,
it
if I
done.
drove there and did it there, it would still be the same amount.
Have you ever had like hair braiders, some that were better than others?
Oh, absolutely. The one I have here is horrible. It's hurt as fuck. It hurts, bro. They do it tight here, like they tight, like tight, tight. The one I have before I came here, my God, she touches your hair, you fall asleep because you feel like she's massaging it. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about the one that you had drive to your crib?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I paid that much because it's like so relaxing, man.
I think that's important, right? If finding a hair braider that you can trust that does a good job and, fits your style, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things you're gonna think it's like, are you gonna willing to pay $125 for your hair, or are you willing to save $125 and do something better than it, you know? And that's the thing you get sucked into, that world of beauty, looking good, trying to impress people, and then you forget about who you are.
You worked in the male model industry, for a
Yeah,
while, so you have a lot of knowledge about like that
it's all scam, bro.
being vain and like selling like an image, right?
Yes, sir. It's all.
What do you mean it's all a scam?
Well, think about it, like somebody who looks good, like actually looks good and taking good photos, have a good photo. Like some people are just photogenic and they look just good in picture. Like no matter what angle you take it, no what camera it is, they just look good, right? And at the end of the day, they can't even get recruited for like big agency, right? And then end of the day, they go over there, they took all these photos for them. They make companies money, like gang of money. And at the end of the day, they don't make shit. They don't even get gas money, and they're spending time and time and time. Like I saw my photos in the magazines that I didn't even approve, man, with the designers. And I'm like, this magazine is now all over LA, and I'm here. I don't even make a penny from it, and my photos are in the magazine. Think about it, right? And then just not me, like even people who are high-end models, like for Gucci, Louis Vuitton, um, LA, like LA models, just big model, like even for Puma. I did photo shoot for Puma when I went to Germany. So it's like, like disclosures. It's all bullshit, it's made up. So it's like, you break that law, then you basically screwed because they can sue you. They take a photo of me. I'm not allowed to tell the day I die. I'm not allowed to post those photos on my Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
But they allowed to use my product to advertise their product to make money. But I'm wearing those products and not giving the credit.
It's always
Politics.
politics as usual, right? So are you still thinking about doing it more in the future, or you kind of put that idea on hold for now, but you might come
I mean,
back to it later?
if the right opportunity come, why not? I did it for like 3 months, man, straight. And I had an agency and I have an agent. They were taking me all over the place, man. I'm like, fuck this shit. I was doing bad in school for a while. because you forget about who you are and you just run in a rat race, right? Because you basically all you want is fame, and you think you're gonna get famous, but they're gonna make you think that. It's like going back to what I was talking about earlier. The government will make them think there's changes, but there's no changes. But they believe that. Because I definitely believed in LA rat race. I definitely believed it, you know. I
Mm.
think every time I go there, I'm gonna get famous like that. I mean, I may have, but I was just never told. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have some magazines that I was in it, right? LA Fashion Week, I was in those magazines. The Vogue.
Do you enjoy modeling though, just in general?
I really think, in a sense of like, if I was paid to do what I want to do, I will enjoy it more. But if you have to spend all this money from your pocket and go to a place and just do photo shoot for someone else, it's not enjoyable. You know what I'm saying?
It's not something that you would do if you weren't getting paid. Like
Yeah,
on.
I mean, I have to work hard, then pay for my ticket to go to a place where I can just go there and have fun and visit and travel around, and knowing that I'm on my own terms. Of course, I'm not gonna be like stressing myself out about it at all. You know, they wanted to fly me to Paris for a photo shoot, but the whole trip is $500. They told me they're gonna put me in like hostel, and then they'll pay for my ticket, but they gave me a total of $500 for my trip. And I'm in school, so literally just don't go to school.
What if it was a test, man, just to see how bad you wanted it?
Of course it was. I mean, that was the test,
Yeah.
but I ain't gonna fall for it because my education is online, bro.
Yeah.
I value education more. I value high school. I mean, modeling. And all those models that I met, they have not finished even high school. They have not. That's the sad part because they follow that fame, right? Because listen, I mean, I'm 29 right now. If, for example, I started when I was like, I don't know, 8 years old modeling, my career would have went somewhere. Then I would have made money somehow. But at this age, I'm not getting any younger. So agency don't are not looking for that, you know. Maybe like all the model for like shoe design, like Versace, and then my size is a little bit different for the high-end model. Like if you want to be in the Versace, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or just high-end models, like you know what high-end models are, right? You know,
Tyson Beckford.
yeah, you have to be like certain height, right? Yeah, a male has to be like 6'2", and you cannot lie. They will measure you from head to toe. I can just do like commercials, like I did commercials and shit like that, like photo shoots for like car commercial. No, no, like yogurt commercial, like that shit. Like food product, you know what I'm saying? Or like just small designers. But then those small designers they can put you in the like bigger magazines.
Is there a modeling scene in Senegal?
Senegal is one of the biggest country with the highest end models in the world. I mean in Africa.
So you're in the right place
But I
then.
mean think about it. Senegalese here they're like 6'7", some of them are 7 foot. They're like really no dark skin, beautiful smile, like they really fit the type. I mean look up all the like male models they from Senegal,
Yeah.
like black male models
You
in
think
Nigeria.
you think you can compete with them?
It's not about competing, it's just about what they're looking for. I don't fit the criteria. You get what I'm saying? Because I fit more like commercials, movie, like old school type of shit,
Yeah.
which is like less money. Because like those models are getting paid like $5,000 a month, and some of those are making like $10,000 a day for a photo shoot.
But would you take less money to do something that you like doing or that you more enjoy doing like
Yeah,
commercials
fucking
and
yeah.
movies?
Oh yeah, I'll take the less for sure. Oh yeah, but I feel like has to be fairness,
Mhm.
equality, respect. I'm not about to just like do something that I love to do but not happy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, it's not fair, and I don't want to be seen. other people being abused, even though I was not abused, but other people go. And that's the thing about modeling, right? The industry, and there's a lot of male, but those male are very much gay. A lot of gay people in the modeling industry, which I had issue a lot with, because most of those designers you model for, they put you in this situation that you don't want to be in, and touching you places that you don't want to be touching, and you have to be comfortable with it.
Has that ever happened to
Seriously.
you, man?
No, but I've seen it, and that's probably and that's one of the things that I really didn't want to go into. That's why I probably one of the biggest factor that I slowed down go doing it. Like if you're wearing, they would tell you what you're gonna wear, right? Because you're gonna model their clothing. Sometimes they would just have you go in underwear, right? And then you wear this lingerie looking type of thing, or I don't know, like men clothing slash woman clothing. Sometimes the design and the factory is just like, man, just gotta suck it up, go out there, smile, literally less than 30 seconds, and then come back. You get what I'm saying? To be famous is short, and then you gotta change, go back on the stage. It's a long night. I
Yeah.
remember one time I did the LA fashion show. I went in at like 10 a.m. I did not finish photo shoot till 2 a.m.
And then you don't think you got paid a fair amount for that?
I did not get paid a penny. They just promised me I'll be in a magazine and I'll get more out. Then they'll promise you this thing like, oh, there'll be other like scouters who basically will scout you and then contact you and all this shit, right? It's all a scam, right? It's all like fake it till you make it type of shit.
Mm-hmm. You're too real for that.
I mean, I just think fairness is I believe in fairness. We all equal.
Yeah.
Because I work hard for what I have doesn't mean I cannot help somebody else get there or guide them at least to get there if I'm working with them. I feel like people in the US, they all just want to, well, not all people, but like in the industry, everybody wants to just be famous faster than other people, and then it's basically who you know. Like kids, you get good looks, you handsome or you beautiful, you won't still make it because the people you know, you don't know those people, and they don't know you, so they're gonna choose people they know who don't even look good. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
What do you think?
Favoritism.
What do you think would be a fair amount though for that day that you said you didn't get paid? Like, what is it for if you were in the other person's shoes, like paying, and you had to pay yourself for your time and energy and effort throughout the day? Like,
I didn't even want to pay. I just wanted able for them to be honest with me.
uh-huh.
So they promised us few things like we be published and then we be also put with other high-end designers, right? So they ended up like saying, oh well, the high-end designers never showed up, or they told us the high-end designers were in the audience just watching, which was not true, because they can get away with anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's your loss. No, they lost. They took photos of you with their clothing on, so and then trying to get the photos. It's a pain in the ass. Like literally, they can close you from that. Like you bitch around a little bit, they can literally take you out of that. They
Yeah.
post your photos on their website, and they don't even tag you. They block you, type of shit.
What is the scenery like in Senegal? You said there's a lot of top models and stuff, and but you see yourself because of the height requirement. You see yourself doing more like commercials and movies, right?
Yeah, I'm more into that to be honest. And I got contacted a few times with some in the US to do some little photo like little movies. There's supposed to be one coming out, but because of COVID, it got canceled. I was a barber, not barber, shoe shiner in the street of LA, and I think I got like 15 minutes in the movie. And you sign this thing, you're not even allowed to say the name of it. You're not allowed to say anything. That shit's fucking whack, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of politics I can imagine within the
Yeah,
movie industry too, right?
and that's why a lot of people have mental health issue, depressed. I mean, a lot of actors, you can see they have a lot of issues.
what do you see yourself doing? So the modeling and I mean the commercials and movies, do you plan to do anything with that soon, or you're just gonna wait until maybe you come back to LA?
Yeah, coming back to LA is questionable, you know. It's 95%, maybe not, you know.
Damn.
I'm not sure yet. It's only like 5% maybe.
So then you're just gonna try to stay in Senegal, or
I
you?
don't know. I'm thinking maybe moving to the Europe because my girlfriend is in Germany, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, man. You just gotta keep thinking and dreaming, and then one day you'll get to where you want to get to.
I know that's the thing, you know, like a lot of people say they find what they want to do in life, like really this is what they're calling. I'm trying to figure it out, like this way to help people. I think that's my calling.
Oh, a way to help people.
Serving. No, just serving. I think I value education a lot. I think helping youth with education, then becoming educated, like the chance I got. I mean, I literally would not able to go have education if my American family did not help me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They put me where I am today.
Yeah, you'll find a way. I think you have to keep thinking, right? There's no one road or one way to get to what you want. You just got to keep thinking of new ideas and things every day, right?
Gotta not give up. That's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Keep grinding, keep pushing.
I think you have to know what is worth it to you for to keep grinding.
But sometimes it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Or you may think you know, but that's really not it.
I've changed many ideas in my life, but I've tried so many things and failed. But I've learned from all my failures on how to get better for the next day.
How did you do that?
Try my best to keep the lessons that I've learned from all my failures and how to not fuck up the next time or not fail when I try again in the future or in the current moment.
So what is your advice for someone who fails a lot?
Keep trying, man. You're gonna fail more. I fail every day, but I always have that one goal in my mind that I try to achieve and succeed every day. And that's, the exterior, whatever the exterior dreams or goals of mine are, that's whatever, that's besides the point. I think the main thing is just keeping that one thing in your mind and trying to be the best every day, day to day. That's all you can control is the moment. That's all we got, really. We can plan for the future, but we can only control how much work we put in for what we want. But we don't all want the same thing, right? What you want out of your life is probably different than what I want out of my life. So you just have to find the thing that you want the most, and then just grind for it every day. So you have to figure out what you want, and then ask yourself every day, like, how bad do I want it? And am I working every day towards that goal? I think figuring out what your goal is the most important thing. What are some things that you think you can do or that you want to do? You said helping people, but like in what way?
I think education, providing material for education. Be opening my own nonprofit, probably along those lines. I really haven't decided how.
If you keep thinking, it'll come eventually. You just
I
gotta
know, man.
keep dreaming.
Tough. I gotta stop dreaming. I gotta make it reality. Be dreaming out there and shit. You gotta make dream real.
You gotta feel some kind of pressure, right? Do you have any pressure? Is there any kind of like pressure that's pushing you right now, or you don't have too much pressure?
I don't know. I have a lot of pressure, but I'm trying to connect with that pressure. Trying to feel that pressure. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to feel like where is that pressure pushing me to, like leading me to.
Yeah. But there's levels of pressure too, right? Like,
But that's the thing. I don't know what is the level of it.
do you think you can face like a harder level of pressure, or you're at the highest level of pressure you can face ever?
I don't know. I can't define it.
Yeah, there's some people that have like crazy pressure, man. Like wife and kids, or like, yeah, kids basically. If you got to support other people, then that's a different kind of pressure, right?
Yeah, I don't have any of that. But I feel like I gotta support my family. They like my kids because they don't have any other source of income.
What are some of your like things that you want to accomplish in like the next like 6 months?
That's a good question. One of the things that I wanna do is go to my mom's graves, you know. I think that's one. The other one I want to accomplish. I want to have a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is my life? What I want? What am I trying to do? I'm not even gonna think 5 months. I'm just like 5 years from now. What I want to do? What I want to be? How? You get what I'm saying? Because right now, one of the things I want to do is stay in one place. I think being stable will help me find what I want to do.
So,
Find a place where I call home.
do you think having like a wife would help you settle down, or like
I
kids?
think it will help a lot. It will definitely help a lot. Just even for a wife. Because even you, for example, like you with your partner, it helps a lot. Even going through the pandemic, if it was just you would have feel probably lonely, right?
Mm.
Or you would not be happy, to be honest. Probably somewhere with family where they putting all this in place and you really don't want to be in the situation. Or living with a friend but you're not happy because you can't do things that you want to do. Like if you're living with your parents, you weren't able to stream like that. Or maybe you could. Or maybe if you're living with a friend and you have an apartment, it'll be also harder.
You have to have a very understanding partner or parents, right?
Yeah.
Like
And a lot of people don't understand.
parents just don't understand.
Because a lot of people think like what are you doing here? It's a waste of time. Just talking to somebody, why? You know, you get what I'm saying? Why don't you just get a job from 8 to 5, right? But that's not how life works, because they did that, so they want everybody to do the same.
Yeah, you got to find what you desire.
Find something that you love to do.
Yeah, I think if you look for stability though, like sometimes that's like with stability that comes like the 9 to 5 more so, right? Or do you feel like you can find stability within like a non 9 to 5 type of grind?
I can find a stability in anywhere, but how do I define my stability, you know? Like stability, like I go 8 to 5 and come home and be by myself? Or do I define stability not even having a job and being with somebody that I care and care for me, or having kids, all sort of things, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Stability can be a lot of things.
Yeah, it's tough trying to decide which road to go down, right? But I think
Yeah.
eventually you just got to pick something and then stick with it, right? And then ride it out, good or bad.
And yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. You have to be settling. Not a lot of people willing to give you chance if you're not really there.
Do you think you can find somebody like a woman that would understand your lifestyle, or you think it's impossible?
I have one. That's what I'm saying. We've been together for 7 years.
You think you could do better with if she was like living with you though?
Yeah, we lived together before. She went to same school I went to.
Do you feel like your life was better when you were living together with her, or it was more stressful?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She was like more my manager, right? Like kind of guided me in a sense of like literally reminded me a lot of the things that are really important in my life to do. And I was doing most of the things that are not important in life for me, like playing basketball 24/7 or doing other things that are not really valuable for me. Like I don't think when I was in LA when I did modeling it was value. It had no, I don't think it had, it's an experience, but I don't think I thought it was a waste of time.
It's how you look at it though, right? Because I mean, I think you probably learned a lot from it, right?
Well, absolutely. But I think I would, learn about it anyway. Or I knew about it, but I still did it anyway. You get what I'm saying? Because of the lifestyle, the TV things you see on TV, rich and famous type of shit.
I guess that's on the negative side, right? That you learn, but you probably learned some positives too.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely positive. The positive that I learned, I met a lot of nice people. You know what I'm saying? It's always positive. I learned also about myself. So
Learning about yourself, that's crucial. You got to know who you are,
yeah,
what you're able to handle, right?
value of life. I've fallen asleep, bro. It's like a one.
Oh yeah. All right, all right. Yeah, we can always continue later, man. I just wanted to
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always love talking to you even on Instagram. You chat.
hell yeah.
Life is too short to not chat about life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always a progression, Like, I'm sure the next time we talk and do another episode or just talk in general in real life, you know, I'm sure we'll be in different time and places, right? Mentally.
Of course, obviously, yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
it's always a pleasure for sure, you know.
I'm sure you see how I get down, right?
Hey, you always get that shit on the point.
Trying.
You always get that stuff on the point, big dog. No joke. Brandon way.
Trying to stay consistent, man, because there's nobody
I
telling
think
me.
that's what it is. You nailed it right on. Consistent. Like being consistent. It is so hard to be consistent. And that's where people, when they almost reaching it and they give up, right when they see the daylight and they're like, let me take a different route. And they become one of the longest route they ever taken and they restart all over.
Once you find that one thing that is worth dying for, like you need that shit as much as you need air, like I think you'll wake up and grind for it.
I hope I can find it after this conversation and let's get it.
I mean, it helps, but it takes every day. Every day you got to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I guess you have to know what it is. Once you know what it is, then you work for it.
But I gotta be in a place where I could able to do that, you know? It's not just about thinking about it, but you think about it, then you're not in the place, in the right place with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to keep searching though and keep trying new things until you get to that
Yeah.
space where you're like, all right, this is my zone. I'm using everything that I've learned in my past to bring about a better future.
Facts. No, I mean, you definitely nailed it on, bro.
You know, this'll help, but yeah, just keep thinking and dreaming every day, but then take action. Dream with action, I guess, is important.
Mm-hmm.
Taking action every day towards your dream, whether it's big steps or smaller steps, you're taking consistent steps. Some days are going to be feeling like you're on top of the world and you can't lose and everything's going your way. And then some days you're going to be lower, like down here, and you feel like, damn, why am I even doing this? You know, I'm not getting paid. I'm not making the amount of money I want. It's a slow grind, but if you enjoy doing it, then you'll find a way, right? And not make any excuses.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying though. Like, for me, it's really not even about the money. It's more about being fair. It doesn't mean because you you're not qualified to do the work, doesn't mean you cannot do the work. But let's be fair, right? Let this be fair. Let the person apply and let the other person apply and hear the different views or points for both people. But don't just like push that thing to that person because you know them. You get what I'm saying?
You got to feel like you're being respected.
Not even respect. I feel like not just me. This is just in general with everybody, whether I'm there or not. You get what I'm saying? Equality. I just believe so much in equality.
Equality is important.
Yeah, you know, even whether you woman, you man, who are you to say I can't do that job? You know, and you didn't even give it the opportunity, but you discriminated already against me before you even gave me the job.
It's a cold game.
That's why Tupac, Biggie, they're all gone because they're great people.
Yeah.
They believe in change. They believe in the process,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore they can't make it because they believe in the process
Yeah.
of like what is good for human being. I mean, all the thing that Tupac had talked about, if you listen to it now, is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his lyrics, he says it all. And even if we look at Tupac's speech, look at just a few clips of what he says about the world that we live in, greed. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a mentality.
Life is a question mark.
Yeah. We have to make our own
Good and bad.
good and bad. We have to make our own reality, right?
Facts only.
Nobody's gonna tell us what we have to do every day. It's only our mind.
Fear is mental. You cannot see fear. You make up fear. You can't touch it. You can't see it. So it become mental and become what other people say about what it is. And you become that. Therefore, you believe you live in fear your whole life because you're afraid of being judged. It's like a news, right? So they say Middle East say bad. But you go to the Middle East, you be treated like a prince or like a king. Like people say, America, land of free, land of opportunity. But people who live there, who even born there, who live there their whole life, They don't have no opportunities. They're homeless. People who fucking serve the country, they're living on the street, living from paycheck to paycheck, or even living on the garbage on like trash cans, right? Living on the corners. And then it's called land of opportunities. Like for me, that's bullshit, right? To be realistic about like the conversation, right? So that's what when I say that, that's what I mean, you know? Like I don't think somebody who has arms and legs should be begging at all, ever. I should never give that person money because you know what? They can find a job. They can talk, they can read, they can write, they can walk. Even if they can read and write, they can walk, they can get a job. No matter what it is, whether it's landscaping, whether it's construction, it's up to them. But I should not discourage them to not do it. Make them believe it. But don't just say, oh, that's a homeless person. Because then they believe, then it become mental. Then they believe they are that. That's it. They can do other things. So then they are disabled from like doing great things because their whole life they've been told they're homeless. So then be homeless become their vocabulary, their mental. Every time they see people, they have to beg because I believe they're homeless. Even though, and I'm serious, it's not just because they do drugs or other things. It's just because it's mental. So like somebody who doesn't know you, Brandon, and come over to you and say to you, like back, like when you're a little bit younger, your brain's still young, and say to you, Brandon, like the word, for example, faggot, right? Like, and that resonated with you. No, I'm it's just take an example, and it resonated with you, so you become traumatized by it. So when people say it, you really uncomfortable. You can't be around that. You get what I'm saying? Because you're not that person, you know. And even if like that person is that, they become scared. They become scared to talk about certain things because they closed out from that environment that they want to be in. Judging, mental, all of these things. It's a lot of issue that goes on with all of that. I feel like a lot of people not giving opportunity to certain people. I mean, I don't know if you see it, but
That happens. I'm not gonna lie. I think that happens, right? Where the powers that be, whoever are in control, have power to, for certain people, whether they advance or stay at a certain lower level. But then also there's people that keep trying to create their own opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And they never stop.
yeah, but greed had poisoned man's soul. The word greed, right? A rich man will not hire you because you want more. Like if I want $1 more, it will hire somebody who will be given $5 less to do the job that you do for less because that man actually has the money, but is greedy to pay you that. But at the end of the day, gonna find somebody else who willing to do less.
So then you have to ask yourself always, what is my value and of time worth, right?
But that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. I believe in equality because I believe everybody, if you paying that person the same amount, you should pay everybody the same. So if you, Brandon, you doing work like managerial work, and I come in as a manager, and because of my skin color, I'm being paid less than you what you've been paid,
Mm-hmm.
and we doing the same job, there's a problem.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But then you can even break that down even further. You know what I'm saying? And say, all right, if I have a group of people and I want to pay them all the same, but Moose comes in here and he producing 10 times the work of Brandon. Brandon ain't doing his work, or he can't work as fast. So he produces a lot less. So Brandon brings in less income than Moussa. He brings in less capital to the bottom line. Should I pay Brandon the same, or should I keep paying Moussa more because Moussa keeps producing more and he produces
But it's
better and
not about
faster?
yeah, but it's not about that. It's about you know me, like that person knows me. Like Brandon, no matter how hard you work, or no matter how much you produce for the company, it's always gonna be the same issue. No, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Yeah. But how would you
So
feel?
it's always gonna come back to that.
How would you feel if you were producing a lot more and bringing more money in for a company, but they were paying you the same amount as Brandon, who was producing 10 times less?
I'm fine because I'm still working with this. It's not about hierarchy. This is we all working the same. So I'm gonna help Brandon to become like me. I'm not gonna think about the company. So if I help Brandon become like me, then like at the end of the day, we all winning. I don't want anybody to be left out. I don't want a Brandon to be taken out because Brandon have family to feed.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's where I see the problem is. Amazon, if you don't produce more than what you produce, other people you thrown out under the bus. You're giving no notice and you kicked out, but you're not giving any opportunity because everybody just want to. Well, he sucks. He doesn't do this. Why don't give him an extra training? Give him another chance. Why don't say, here it is. This is what you're supposed to do, and give him extra, and have the other associate train them, other than the person who trained him the first time.
How long did you work at Amazon for?
Almost a year, and they still keep calling me to recruit me for managerial level. I'm like, fuck you guys.
So you worked there for about a year. You don't think you wouldn't recommend it as a company to work
I
for
would not
young
recommend
people?
anybody that Amazon. No, just being honest. For me, nothing positive about that company, other than just like overworking the employees and not paying them anything. I think every employee who work Amazon should be paid at least $20 starting, 25, and if it's salary, managers do nothing, and they're getting paid over $100,000 a year, and they do nothing. And the associate who start getting paid. When I started Amazon, I was getting paid $11 an hour, and I was working over 80 hours a week. I worked for 6 months, no insurance, no nothing, for 6 months, and I was getting paid $11. And overtime, I was getting paid $75 overtime. It's slavery. And if you come late, about 1 minute late, you get a write up. You come 3 times late, you get fired. It's stress on people. It's stress on people. It's mental because you work more than 12 hours a day, and then the next day you come back. So I work like from 3 p.m. till like 6 a.m. and then I come back like at 3 again. Then I work again till like 6 a.m. It's brutal. It's like 12 hours shift, and I'm getting paid $11 an hour, and it's called Amazon. Everybody's craving to work Amazon. Oh my God, everybody here I work Amazon. I'm like, oh my God, you work Amazon? It's almost like Bible or Quran.
What is the price that you think it would be worth it for you to work there again if they paid you $25 an hour?
I wouldn't work for them just because of who they are. It's not about the money, as I said to you. They don't care about their employees. They care more about themselves. And for me, I care more about the employees.
So you're
Literally, this older lady who worked so hard every night, got his finger jammed into the machine. She got fired. You cannot sit down, you get a write up. You cannot go to the restroom without telling the manager, and you go out there to the restroom, you can't be more than 15 minutes out there. What kind of shit is that, bro?
There's too many laws and restrictions, right?
I mean, that's why he's making money and he's getting away with it and he's not paying taxes. So, and they call America is great, land of free, land of make your own laws. Now, sometimes like you think about certain things, because I have done so many miscellaneous jobs and different jobs that I see certain companies are really crooked and they manipulate the system to be richer and richer and richer and richer. And even when they become rich, they really don't care. Because if you try and fucking push a lawsuit on Amazon, you will never win. Nobody.
Do you think corruption in corporations is just something that is part of the game? It's always going to happen. It's always going to be there. Or there's a perfect corporation where there will never be any type of
There's no
corruption
perfect
from the
corporation.
people.
It's all one. It's all on one corporation. Amazon own everything. Monsanto own everything. Then you get the gun laws, the gun people, the NRA own all the guns. So superpower. You can't say anything. Whatever you say goes against you. Whatever you do go against you. So there's really no freedom either way wherever you live.
Yeah. So basically, then freedom, it only exists in our own
Yeah.
mind.
I say Monsanto's
Monsanto's.
were suing company. Well, yeah, they're suing companies here in Africa. They literally came and wiped out all the field. They said, "Well, you stole our seeds." Seriously, look it up. It's been 4 years ago. You read it, and the next time you have a conversation, you tell me. They're the only companies that have frozen seeds, like seed that are frozen in some area in the North Pole somewhere that, like, let's say if something ever happened, those seeds can be as a second resource. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's smart.
It's smart, but at the same time, it's not, because the seed that they're using now, it's like that's why you see little girls like at age 15, 13 growing up fast and have already like hormone of like a woman, you know? You get what I'm saying? Because
Oh,
of the shit they eat.
mm.
GMO. So GMO came from Monsanto. Like when they say there's no GMOs, like it's organic, they're trying to say, oh, Monsanto don't own that. You get what I'm saying? So when it doesn't say anything, there's no GMOs, so they didn't say that's owned by Monsanto, so don't eat that. You get what I'm saying? But Monsanto literally flew from Africa to Kenya and said, Kenya, this seeds, this field of 100,000 acres is owned by us, so we have to destroy the whole seed. They literally took a plane and then went out there and disseminated 100,000 acres of millet or corn or something like that.
So you think it's kind of like a sinister plot to kind of
Watch interview with Monsanto guys. You will never see their faces ever, ever.
you never know, right? But you also got to look at who's producing these films, right? Who's in control of these films.
Yeah, but the production can be edited easily.
Yeah.
It can come from a good source, and by the time it reaches the audience, it's in the bad hand.
Just like this podcast episode right here.
No, seriously.
It's
Like,
good.
think about it. In 5, 10 years' time, you never know who got hold of it and changed completely the conspiracy of it.
That's real talk.
I mean, for sure, somebody right now is listening to us. Every talk we're saying right now.
What about porn?
Porn is different because it's out there. The only thing you can do is child pornography, right? Seriously.
How would they know if it's child pornography?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They can find out. Let's say if that person, they go out there and do research, literary research, all they need to do is take that girl's face and scan it, and it comes out, and they know their parents, where she from, where she lives. That's it. Or somebody reporting you, and somebody really do reporting you, and then it's game over for you.
Yeah.
Or they catch you in action, right? They catch you. Somebody catches you and sees you doing something like filming kids at the beach, like, or finding like a naked picture. I'm serious, man. It's like so easy nowadays. So easy.
But I think so many people watch porn though, right?
Yeah, but that's yeah. But it's also that's why you see that Pornhub has changed their policy. You can't now upload stuff just like that. You have to have approval. Other pornographic sites already doing it before Pornhub. Pornhub was the only website you can download things, anything you want. Other websites you can't, because they already have policies in there that everything has to be verified, and all those people who are doing those kind of stuff are approved.
You're talking about people that are uploading it, right? Doing it themselves.
Yeah, like
versus...
Pornhub before you can download it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can make your own at home and then just upload it.
But I'm talking
That's the
about
only
just
website.
as a viewer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we were talking about child pornography, right?
Uh-huh.
Or just in general.
Yeah. Can you watch it, or you can't even watch it?
Of course, you can watch anything you want. But I'm saying, like, mentally, you can get addicted to it. You know, like you get addicted to drugs and all that stuff. You can get addicted to it easily.
Is porn not bad? It's not that bad. It's not bad, but if you do it too much, then it's bad.
You know, this thing come back again to balance, right? You do too much, you become addicted. You less, you just become a user.
Yeah, I'll let you get going, man. I'm getting kind of hungry too
All right,
as
big
well.
dog. I appreciate you.
I
And
appreciate
let's catch
you.
up soon again.
Yeah. Do you have any closing words you want to leave to the positive vibrators tuning in right now?
I just want to say, man, stay blessed, stay positive. It's just the way to go. And listen, but don't take everything seriously. But make what it is to you, not what somebody else tells you what it is. Let people educate you, but take what is value to you and keep that.
You kind of look like Nipsey Hussle right now.
I do. I look like a lot of things. I look like I'm a tired mess.
I'm sure you got that before, right? Somebody's probably said you look like
Oh
Nipsey
no, I
Hussle.
never get in this. So I got Lloyd.
The R&B
I
singer
got-
Lloyd.
Yeah, and I got Usher. I got also Jaden sometimes.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah, without my facial hair though.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see everything that you mentioned. I can see that in you.
I love Nipsey Hussle. He's a cool. He's an inspiration. He's definitely a great leader. Gone for sure. He has a lot of knowledge.
There's people that support Trump, but then they always use Nipsey Hussle as a reference, and I'm like, Nipsey Hussle had a track called "Fuck Donald Trump," and but
Well, because they lost of who they are. I mean, just think about it. Like their president told them to go to Capitol Hill. They went out there and did some crazy shit. But let me tell you, those people, their own person that told them that the same thing told them like they're terrorists, and they still support them. So that's why I'm saying power is a weird thing, man. It's like drugs. I mean, this woman who got killed, she was in the military, well educated, but will die for Donald Trump. Which there's nothing wrong with it, right? But again, I would never die for anybody, like in the sense of like harming other people.
I feel you. That's important. Knowing who to die for. There's some people I probably would die for, but not for people that are harming people, right? In the name of harming other people. Unless they're doing it by force, a smart person probably wouldn't do it, right?
Exactly.
Unless they're being
But
forced to.
But even if it's a person doing it by force, you still know you're right. So and therefore, I would die for that.
You would die for the right reason, not
to
the
protect,
wrong.
to protect my right, to protect the right of other people too.
Good talks, man.
Stay blessed, man.
You too. I have fun, man. I appreciate you taking
Yeah,
the time out of your day.
anytime. Let's catch up soon again and see where we are and where the world is at. And there's always conversation about something. There's never no conversation. When somebody said I don't have time, it's because they don't value that. It's not important in their life, even though that's the one thing that could change their life, right? That's why people always run in the rat race. I don't have time. I don't have time. But when it's important, you make that fucking time. Everything is important. It's about how far are you willing to go for that. You know what? If it's that person wanting that thing, they will make that time, but they won't make time for somebody else. Bullshit. Mm-hmm. No matter how long it takes, just do it. Because that's probably the only chance you can get.
Wise words spoken from a wise man.
You are a wise man too, man. I appreciate you. And then say hello to your girlfriend for me.
Thank you, man.
I know we crossed paths, so
yeah,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Take care. Be safe, and I'll text. I'll hit you up on Instagram soon.
I got you.
Have a good night, man. Get some rest, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, peace out, Moussa. Thank you.
Bye.